Books that every chingona needs to read, part 2. For this round, I went ahead and selected all Latinx authors. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. This is my 4th time reading this book, and literally every time I read it, I get something new out of it. It's a fiction book, but it's full of so much wisdom, all about finding your personal legend, aka your purpose. Like, why are you here? Chica, Why Not by Sandra Hinojosa. This book is all about how to manifest a life that you want, written by a Latina for Latinas. Need I say more? I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erika Sanchez. This one's also a fiction book, but I think you'd be surprised with how storytelling actually really connects us. And this story is about a first-generation Latina in the United States and her relationship with her immigrant parents. The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. This book is full of so much wisdom. It really teaches you not to stress the little things and to live a happier life. I'm running out of time, but let me know if you'd like a part 3.
I got a request for Latina authors other than Mariana Zapata. I pulled together this list, but if you are a Latinx author or book talker, reply to my pinned comment so people can check out your books or bookish content. Adriana Rivera's debut book, American Dreamer, was selected by Booklist as the best debut of 2019. It was also one of the top 10 romances of 2019 by Entertainment Weekly. She's also one of the co-creators of the Queer Romance POC Collective. Mia Sosa started writing while practicing media law. In 2015, one of her books was a finalist in the Romance Writers of America's Golden Heart contest. My personal favorite from her is The Worst Best Man, which features a heroine from a Brazilian heritage. Claire Contreras traded her psychology degree to write romance, and now she writes romantic suspense and contemporary romance, and her books are available on Kindle Unlimited. She's also a 2-time breast cancer survivor, which is amazing, and I felt it had to be included. Alexa Daria's debut book, Take the Lead, won the 2018 Rita for Best First Book, and her latest books, You Had Me at Hola and A Lot Like Adios, are known for having the most gorgeous illustrated covers. A Lot Like Adios is going to be releasing on September 8th. Zoraida Cordova has written more than a dozen novels and short stories, including a Star Wars book, but she writes romance under the pen name Zoe Castile. Her Happy Ending series features heroes who work in adult entertainment.
Outside Starbucks reading. And I know the author is half Brazilian, but I'd never thought that I would be able to see the Portuguese language in a book, and it's making me extremely emotional. I am first generation Portuguese, daughter of a single mom, and the main character is first generation Brazilian, daughter of a single mom. And I just never thought that I would be able to see Portuguese in the book.
When I read that book, the acknowledgement was the first thing that I saw, and I noticed that the word mother was in Portuguese. Go on to read the book, discover that it's about Brazilian American, and while I am Portuguese American and the main character is Brazilian American, there are a lot of things that I can relate to culturally, family-wise, obviously because of colonization, but I really never thought I would see that. I was lucky enough to read the arc of the second book, which comes out next month. And that book also made me cry because, once again, it's about a first-generation Brazilian American. But also, in the book, it goes on to mention how people who do the jobs that other people don't want to do should be respected, including house cleaner. As a daughter of a house cleaner, to see that in a book really meant a lot, because you can tell somebody's personality and who they are by how they treat their house cleaners, their janitors. Also in the book, they end up at a party. It's not your normal party. I think The Wedding Crashers, which is the book that comes out next month, is funnier than The Worst Best Man. Probably has to do with the fact that both characters are a little bit more chaotic. But if you want a spicy Hallmark movie that has the beautiful, amazing Brazilian culture, I highly recommend The Worst Best Man and The Wedding Crasher that comes out next month. Yeah. Mia Sosa is absolutely one of my instant buy authors, so. And if you need a little bit more convincing, here are some lines from both books.
Habla de selfie, bebé. Dime, ¿vamos para el mambo o no vamos para el mambo? Tú me dices, mami. Zumba. ¿Qué? ¡Ey! 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 Hoy sí que sí.
Si no me quieres, ni modo. De amor no voy a morir.
Let's do the trope filter, but I'm gonna give you a Latinx romance rec based on when it falls. Forced proximity. Okay, this hasn't come out yet, but On the Hustle by Adriana does come out in October, and they're forced to live together and forced to work together, and I really love that book. Second chance romance. This is my favorite trope, and I feel like I can do a whole video on just second chance romance Latinx recs. But Paper Hearts by Claire Contreras is one of my all-time favorites. I think it's really underrated. It has single dad. He's a writer. He's been like, she's the main character of his book series. They were college sweethearts. It's so good. All right, we just did that, so. Accidental Pregnancy, Hiding in the Smoke by Ophelia. I know a lot of people hate accidental pregnancy, but I think she did it so well where it doesn't take away from the story. It's like not the main plot at all. Just like happens. Enemies to Lovers, A Proposal They Can't Refuse. They start off as childhood friends who then become enemies, who then have a fake engagement and then become lovers. Alright, I'm finally doing my Latinx romance books on Kindle Unlimited. There's probably going to be multiple parts because the thing about me is if there's a backlist, I'm going to read it. But I'll record and post them all today. Let's start with the Flor de Muertos series by Jocelyn Soto. This is a Mexican cartel romance. It follows 3 siblings whose father is the king of the Mexican cartel. In the first book, he's the heir to the cartel and he drunkenly gets married in Vegas. The second book was my favorite because it's friends to lovers and her father is forcing her to marry another man. The third book is an age gap romance where she falls for a man who's made a career out of trying to take down her dad. A couple of Ofelia Martinez books are on Kindle Unlimited. Hiding in the Smoke, which is the first book in the Industrial November Tour book. This is our January pick for Amor en Páginas. This is a rock star romance. She doesn't want relationships. It was just supposed to be a one-night stand. Running in the Blaze, which is the second one in the series, comes out January 11th and is also going to be on Kindle Unlimited.
This book. Beautiful, perfection, plus size representation, everything we can want. But besties, I have a question. How big is this bus? I don't get it. Full-size kitchen, multiple people sleeping in it. My brain is not computing. The picture I am making in my head is not working. How big is this bus? I need answers.
Snot girl, I think you dropped something. My jaw.
Hi amigos, thanks so much for all your love on my Latina book series. I really appreciate your recommendations. Now I have a huge list of books to read this year, but I'm so thankful that together as a community we're going to be reading more Latina books and supporting more Latina authors in 2023. Today I want to do something a little bit different. Instead of recommending books to you, I want to recommend for you to follow other accounts on the TikTok space that are held by Latina creators in the book TikTok or Booktok space. These 7 Latina creators that I'll be talking about today do a phenomenal job at recommending books written by Latina authors, but for all types of genres. So let's get started. First, we have Lupita's Booktok. You can find her at lupita.reads. She has amazing Latina book recommendations, and she even has a Latina book club. So if you're interested in that, definitely give her a follow. Next, we have Lorena, or La Mera Mera Mom. She is so wonderful. I love her content because it's all about embracing and loving the Latino culture and loving Latino books. So if you're interested in great book recommendations or a great book club as well, please give her a follow. Next, we have Delia's Latina Booktok, or Aventuras en ESL, and I absolutely love her account. She not only gives book recommendations, but she's also a Latina writer herself. So she also gives great tips to other Latina writers. So definitely give her a follow. Next, we have Dove's Nook. I love this account because she's always advocating for reading more diversely, and she gives great book recommendations related to fantasy, romance, you name it, she's got it. So definitely follow her account as well. Next, we have Book Papi. I absolutely love this account. Their content is so fun. They're all about supporting BIPOC authors, and they even have a bookshop, so please go check that out as well. Their recommendations range from anything to indigenous books, Mesoamerican books, to bilingual books. Again, if you want it, they have it, so please go check Book Papi out. Next we have Jen. You can find her at jenjen.reads. I think her content is absolutely wonderful. I really like her Latina book recommendations, and she's all about reading diversely as well, so make sure to check out her account and give her a follow. Last but definitely not least, we have Cholo Books. I absolutely love their account. They are an online bookstore that is Latina owned, and they're all about decolonized reading. They have wonderful book recommendations, and I think it's so important to support independent BIPOC owned stores. So please go check out their bookshop and give them a follow as well. Amigas, those are all my recommendations for today, but I really hope you like them. Happy reading!